Spirit warriors, what if I told you the very people who argue about you, talk behind your back, and try to bring you down, have finally realized something shocking? You, yes, you, the chosen one, are not the problem. Have you ever wondered why people get so worked up over you? Why does their frustration seems to boil over whenever you show up, breathe, or just simply exist? Why does it feel like they're fighting you, when deep down, you know you're walking a path that's meant to be walked, even if it's lonely? There was once a young woman named Amara. She was different. People around her whispered, argued, and plotted, trying to label her a troublemaker, a misfit, or worse, the problem. For years, Amara carried the weight of their accusations like a heavy cloak, wondering if maybe, just maybe, she really was the source of the chaos. But here's the twist. As Amara grew into her spiritual power, a beautiful revelation emerged. The very people who argued about her, who spread rumors and tried to control her, realized it wasn't her they feared or hated. It was their own reflection in her mirror of truth. She wasn't the problem. Their resistance to change was. Chosen ones, listen closely. You are the lightning in a stagnant sky. You stir the pot because you are meant to. You challenge old beliefs, shake up the system, and your light threatens those who want to keep the darkness comfortable. But here's the ultimate secret. Their frustration is proof of your awakening, not your failing. So what exactly are they arguing about? And why have they finally come to the realization that you are not the problem? What spiritual truths lie beneath the surface of this resistance? Stay with me, spirit warriors, because in this video, we're going to uncover 7 powerful reasons why people are sick and tired of arguing about you, and why the real issue never was you. You'll discover how your spiritual journey has sparked waves of awakening, forcing others to confront uncomfortable truths, and how you can harness this energy to grow even stronger in your purpose. If you want to walk this path fully awake, to understand why you trigger so much noise, and to step into your godly power, don't skip a second. Watch till the end, because this message is designed to help you stay awake, aware, and unshakable on your spiritual journey. As the wise Rumi once said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. And spirit warriors, your wounds, and those arguments about you, are exactly where your light is breaking through. Let's dive deep and get ready to flip the script on those who argue about you, because it's time to shine even brighter. Point 1. They're arguing about your awakening, not you. Chosen ones, your spiritual awakening is like a radiant beacon piercing through the dense fog of confusion that often clouds everyday life. This transformation grants you clarity and a deep sense of purpose that others might struggle to comprehend. It's not just about changing how you see the world. It's about shifting your entire vibration, your energy, and your connection to the universe. Yet this newfound light often makes those around you uncomfortable. Their resistance isn't really about you as a person or your past mistakes. It's about the disruption your awakening causes to their familiar, stagnant realities. Imagine a fresh breeze sweeping through a stuffy, closed room. Suddenly, dust particles swirl and scatter, making the previously invisible dirt visible and uncomfortable. Your spiritual awakening works in much the same way. It stirs up old energies, hidden fears, and unresolved tensions, both in you and those around you. Some people fear change or the unknown, so when you begin to embody this elevated awareness, it threatens their comfort zones. They may respond with confusion, judgment, or even hostility simply because your light exposes the shadows they've preferred to keep hidden. This dynamic is backed by psychology. When people experience discomfort caused by change in their environment, their natural reaction is often resistance or defensiveness. Your growth challenges their existing beliefs and forces them to confront their own limitations. This can manifest as criticism or misunderstanding directed at you, but it's a reflection of their inner struggle, not a reflection of your worth. The key, chosen ones, is to remain anchored in your truth and to recognize that this resistance is not a personal attack. Your awakening is a gift, a sacred duty to rise higher, embody your purpose, and lead by example. In doing so, You don't just elevate yourself, you help clear the fog for others, even if they don't immediately see it. Your light might be uncomfortable for some, but it's a necessary force for transformation and healing on a much larger scale. So, embrace your awakening fully. Let your light shine without apology. You are the fresh breeze, the spark of change, the living proof that growth is possible. And while not everyone will welcome this new energy, remember that the true journey is about walking your path with courage, clarity, and compassion, for yourself and for the world around you. Point 2. Their arguments reveal their own inner struggle. When people lash out at you or argue about you, it's rarely about you at all. It's a mirror reflecting their own inner battles. Psychologists call this phenomenon projection, where individuals project their fears, insecurities, and unresolved issues onto others rather than confronting them internally. When someone criticizes or attacks you, what they're really revealing is the discomfort they feel inside, triggered by your strength and authenticity. Your confidence and spiritual growth shine a spotlight on their own shadows, the parts of themselves they may have been avoiding or denying for years. Imagine your light as a beacon that exposes not just your path, but also the darkness others are struggling with. This can provoke defensive reactions. It's natural for people to resist change, especially when it challenges their worldview or forces them to face uncomfortable truths. Your growth, whether emotional, spiritual, or intellectual, represents a transformation they may fear or envy. It's not about competition. It's about the fear of stepping into the unknown and the vulnerability that change demands. From a spiritual perspective, this dynamic is even deeper. When you embody godly qualities such as love, patience, wisdom, and resilience, you become a living example of what it means to grow in spirit. Others may resist this because it awakens a longing or awareness within them that they are not yet ready to confront. Your presence reminds them of their own potential and shortcomings simultaneously, stirring up insecurities that manifest as conflict or criticism. Understanding this can change how you respond. Instead of taking attacks personally or engaging in battles, recognize that these moments offer insight into others' struggles. They are not truly fighting you. They are wrestling with their own fears and doubts. This awareness encourages compassion, patience, and a steadiness rooted in your own truth. You can choose to rise above the conflict, knowing it's part of a larger process of growth, for both you and those around you. In essence, when people lash out, it's a signal that your spiritual light is working. It reveals hidden fears and pushes others toward their own awakening, even if they resist it now. So hold on to your strength and keep shining, because sometimes the fiercest opposition comes right before the greatest transformation. Point 3. You're a mirror for their denial. This one's crucial. Spirit warriors. You are a living mirror reflecting their denial right back at them. Think about it. When people encounter qualities or truths within you that they've buried deep inside themselves, those qualities can trigger discomfort. Instead of facing their own insecurities or fears, they often project rejection or criticism onto you. This is a classic psychological phenomenon called projection, where individuals refuse to acknowledge their own flaws or struggles, so they try to reject or diminish those very traits in others. The denial you encounter isn't random, it's a defense mechanism. When someone denies a part of themselves, it's because confronting it feels painful, threatening, or destabilizing. Your strength, confidence, or clarity may shine a light on what they don't want to see within. They argue, dismiss, or resist, not because you're wrong, but because facing that truth would force them to reevaluate themselves, their choices, and their self-image. It's a last-ditch effort to keep you out of their uncomfortable reality, a way to maintain the fragile shield of denial. But denial can only last so long. Psychologists and behavioral experts note that denial is a temporary barrier. It's an emotional refuge that eventually cracks under the weight of truth and experience. Like a mirror that shatters after being stared into long enough, their resistance breaks down. The more you embody your truth and refuse to back down, the more their defenses erode. They might continue to resist initially, but over time the denial becomes unsustainable. Eventually they are forced to confront the very things they tried to reject. This process can be uncomfortable for both parties. For you, it means staying strong in your authenticity despite opposition. For them, it means facing their shadows, something many avoid for years. Yet this dynamic can lead to profound growth. When the mirror cracks, their resistance fades, opening the door for healing, understanding, and even respect. Remember, spirit warriors, this isn't about changing them, it's about standing in your power. Your presence challenges denial, and in doing so, you inspire transformation, even if they don't realize it right away. So keep shining your light unapologetically. The cracks in their denial aren't just breaks. They're openings for truth to shine through. Point 4. They fear losing control. People naturally crave control over narratives. They want to shape stories, opinions, and expectations to fit their own worldview or agenda. Psychologically, this desire offers comfort. It reduces uncertainty and helps maintain order in a chaotic world. But when you begin living authentically and spiritually, this control starts to slip from their grasp. Suddenly, you stop being a character in their carefully crafted story and instead become the author of your own. This transformation can unsettle those who benefit from keeping you confined to their version of reality. Their response? Attempts to pull you back with criticism, manipulation, or arguments. Power plays meant to reassert control. Psychologists explain that when people feel threatened by another's independence or growth, they often resort to confrontation, not really about the issue at hand, but to maintain dominance. Yet the spiritual lesson here is profound. True power isn't about external approval or control over others, it comes from within. By staying rooted in your values and refusing to engage in their tactics, you reclaim your divine authority. You conserve your energy, remain calm, and embody resilience. This internal power is deeply spiritual because it connects you to a higher self, one untouched by external chaos or criticism. Spiritual traditions worldwide emphasize detachment from ego-driven conflict. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment, including to others' opinions. Mindfulness practices encourage observing conflicts without reactive emotions, fostering peace and clarity. When you refuse to play their control game, you're not just avoiding unnecessary drama, you're making a powerful statement that you write your own story. You become a beacon of strength through authenticity, embodying spiritual sovereignty. Your worth is no longer dictated by others' need for control. In essence, as you disengage from their attempts to dominate your narrative, their power fades while your inner power soars. This is the true victory, one born from inner peace and divine authority, not external confrontation. Point 5. You challenge the status quo. Chosen ones, your presence is like a bright spark in a dark room, lighting up hidden corners many prefer to keep in shadow. You challenge long-held beliefs and rigid systems rooted in fear, control, and conformity, systems that have dictated society for ages. This disruption unsettles those comfortable in their safe and normal routines. For many, the status quo is a security blanket that shields them from the discomfort of change. When you question their carefully constructed world, it rattles them deeply. Their criticism, arguments, and attempts to pull you back aren't about the merit of your ideas, but about their own fears being exposed. Yet, spiritual growth and true transformation never happen within the bounds of comfort and predictability. Growth demands stepping into uncertainty and challenging the familiar. The resistance you face, skepticism, hostility, even rejection, is a powerful signal you're moving in the right direction. History shows us that visionaries and rebels, think Galileo, who defied the universe's accepted model, or Martin Luther King Jr., who confronted entrenched social injustices, were met with opposition, not because they were wrong, but because their courage threatened the status quo. This resistance is more than just outside pushback. It mirrors society's discomfort with evolution. Your questioning spirit disrupts stagnant systems, forcing a reckoning. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, view them as invitations to deepen your resolve. They test your faith, your strength, and remind you of your purpose to lead, innovate, and inspire. Growth isn't linear, nor is awakening. You'll face moments of doubt, isolation, and confusion. It's part of the process. But with every step beyond your comfort zone, you expand what's possible for yourself and others. You carry the light, guiding others from darkness into new ways of thinking and being. When people resist, remember, it's because you're doing something profoundly powerful. You're breaking old molds and paving the way for a future rooted in truth, freedom, and spiritual awakening. Embrace this challenge. It confirms you are truly chosen and destined for greatness. Point 6. Your purpose is bigger than their opinions. At the end of the day, the harsh words, criticisms, and gossip swirling around you don't define who you truly are. Imagine it like rain falling on a lotus flower. It might get wet, but the flower stays pure and beautiful, untouched at its core. Your mission, your spiritual purpose, and the godly light that shines within you are far greater and more powerful than any negative noise others try to throw your way. These attacks, often rooted in jealousy, misunderstanding, or fear, are simply distractions from your path. Criticism can feel like a storm when you're in the middle of it, but remember this: those voices only have power if you give it to them. Psychologists and spiritual teachers alike agree that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, but learning to navigate it with grace. When you hold tightly to your truth and purpose, you develop a shield that deflects negativity effortlessly. It's like practicing mindfulness or meditation, training your mind to observe without getting caught up emotionally, allowing you to keep your inner peace intact. Your spiritual purpose is a higher calling, one that transcends petty conflicts or harmful gossip. Whether your purpose is to heal, teach, inspire, or simply live authentically, it is sacred and unique to you. When you remind yourself of this mission daily, you build a fortress of confidence that cannot be shaken by criticism. It's no coincidence that great leaders, saints, and visionaries throughout history faced opposition but remained steadfast. They understood that their light was meant to guide others, not to be dimmed by detractors. So, let their words roll off like water off a duck's back, impervious and calm. This isn't about arrogance or denial of reality. It's about deep inner strength, rooted in faith and self-awareness. When you realize your worth and align with your godly purpose, negativity loses its grip. You're here to serve a higher calling, and nothing, not gossip, not criticism, not jealousy, can stop you from rising, shining, and fulfilling your destiny. Keep that light burning bright, because the world needs it now more than ever. Point 7. Their realization: you are never the problem. Finally, here's the most powerful truth to hold on to. They have started to realize you are not the problem. After all the noise, the arguing, the drama, the subtle jabs, and outright opposition, the mask slips, and suddenly it's clear. You're not the one standing in the way. Instead, you've been the catalyst for something much bigger than anyone expected. The tension, the resistance, the pushback, it all boils down to one uncomfortable reality for them. You've been the spark of awakening they secretly needed, but were too afraid to face. This phenomenon isn't new. Throughout history, every movement of change has been met with fierce resistance. Think about the great visionaries, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, or even Galileo. They weren't problems to be solved. They were signals of transformation. Their challenges came because they exposed collective blind spots, shaking the comfortable status quo. In the same way, your presence and persistence disrupt complacency. You bring light to shadows others preferred to ignore, and that stirs discomfort. Spirit warriors, let this truth be your anchor in the storm. The resistance you encounter is not a setback. It's undeniable proof that you're awakening collective consciousness. It means your energy is rippling out, touching hearts and minds, even if those ripples meet waves of denial. You are a divine agent of change, an awakened soul tasked with shifting perspectives and evolving the collective. And this role comes with inevitable opposition, but also with inevitable triumph. So, stand tall with fierce compassion. Your purpose is greater than the noise. Let resistance be the wind beneath your wings, propelling you higher. Because those who resist are simply witnessing the birth of a new reality, and you, spirit warrior, are its herald. You will prevail. Chosen ones, the journey you walk is not an easy one, but it is sacred. The fact that people argue about you and even grow sick and tired of it, that's the universe's way of saying your light is too bright to ignore. Remember, you are never the problem. The problem lies in the resistance to change, the fear of truth, and the denial of spiritual awakening. Stay strong, stay awake. Keep shining your godly light no matter what noise surrounds you. Your spiritual journey is a sacred mission, and every argument only confirms that you are waking the world. If this message resonated with you, share it with your fellow spirit warriors. Together we rise. And remember, watch till the end because your awakening is only just beginning.